that game, we win it, that means we have Houston, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay.
So
which doesn't bode well for the Sox in recent history.
And what, the first 2 games would be in Houston, right? And then, three, right? 3 or 2?
No, it goes 2-2-1, I believe.
Okay, 2-2-1, yeah. I'm thinking of 7. Thinking of the 7-game series.
Yeah, that would be 2-3-2, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's how I see it playing out, but I wouldn't favor the Red Sox right now against the Astros, although I'm surprised they haven't done anything with the bullpen yet. I'm surprised the Nationals gave up their number 10th and 11th ranked prospects for Herrera early in the month of June, and nobody else tried to beat that, which seemed like a pretty beatable offer. So I'm not sure what the Astros really, what their plans are, but the Yankees definitely did a lot of damage against them in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings multiple times, and I think the Red Sox could probably do the same thing. So, but if the Red Sox were to get by Houston, then you have, for the first time since 2004, a Red Sox-Yankees ALCS.
That'd be fun. Obviously, that'd be great. I mean, great baseball. I mean, it's something that the league's been missing for a few years, which would be great. But, I mean, the way it all pans out, I mean, I'm going to go right now the way the teams are playing. I go with the Sox to win the division. I mean, I trust our starting rotation over the Yankee starting rotation, pretty handedly. So I think that would just catalyst us to the end. Like you said, Terry, they have, Chris, all too well how good your farm system is. So obviously, if you go get a Cole Hamels or a DeGrom or something, or even like a smaller, someone other than Hamels, but a solid pitcher to be in your, top 3 rotation, I would definitely flip-flop to the Yankees there, just because of, I believe you have an easier schedule the rest of the way compared to the Red Sox, I read, and just in general, if you improved in a weak position that you are in starting pitching, I'd definitely give it to the Yankees. But the AL is going to be a mess. I think the World Series winner is an AL this year. I don't think the NL wins it, but that's just, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
How crazy would it be if Steve Pearce was like the ALCS MVP? 20 minutes ago, we didn't even know he was on the team. But, yeah, anyway, let's just get down to this series, and then we'll wrap. We've kind of touched on it a little bit. On Friday, we have Erod against Sabathia. I kind of favor the Yankees in that one. Where you guys at?
I'm kind of here's my thoughts on the overall series. If the Sox win Game 1, they'll take 2 out of 3. If they lose Game 1, they might get swept. I'm 100% serious.
I feel you.
Severino, it'd be a miracle if we beat Severino. Obviously, we're in Yankee Stadium. It's easier to hit there, and the Sox are playing really well right now. Severino has been so good. Like, it's being downplayed how good he is, Chris. Like, throughout just, like you hear the name, he's been that good this year. And he's automatic pretty much every time, like you said. So I don't think we beat Severino. If we lose to CC, I mean, we better hope we salvage Game 2 because we'd be in a lot of trouble.
I think Game 2 is the most winnable for the Red Sox, really. I don't have a lot of faith in Gray. But here's the bad news. CC Sabathia in his last 3 starts, he's 1-2, but he's got a 1.93 ERA, and so we're catching him at a bad time. He's 3.18 on the season, and I feel like they're catching Erod at a good time for them because he's just hasn't been that good, in terms of getting deep into the games and I mean, he gives up a lot of hits, and I have a really bad feeling about that game. The most interesting game is the Price game for reasons I talked about earlier, just to see how he handles it. If he goes out there, Monday morning is going to be hell for him. Like
it's gonna be bad.
He's going to get crucified on every media outlet ever.
And he should if he pitches like shit. And I don't know. I this is a really good series, and I'm excited for it. I wish Sale was getting there, obviously, because I think this is. I don't know, Chris. I think this is your three best pitchers going, and I don't think it's our three best pitchers, but it's still three of our four best pitchers. So I think that if the Sox get past Game 1, they should take 2 out of 3. But I legitimately think if we do get beat by CC and it's embarrassing, we will only win 1 because I don't think we beat Severino.
Well, I think if you look at the Game 2 starter between Gray and Sale, I think this is by far Gray's biggest start of possibly, you could say, his Yankee career. I know it's hard to say that because it's only June, but if he pitches well, I think that sets a precedent now for, the remainder of the season up until the deadline, and then maybe it can jumpstart him and get that confidence going, because if he pitches poorly, that's when you could see the Yankees go out and really have to look like a desperate team and needing to acquire someone to be that number 2 or number 3, because right now we don't have Tanaka. But if Gray can pitch well, then that might catapult him to having a good second half, and maybe, just maybe, we might not have to go out and get a Hamels, because personally I don't want him. They probably will go out and maybe get a Happ, a Lance Lynn, or if, they feel like that the starters don't fit their forte, go out and get a bullpen piece. Maybe not a Hand, but maybe someone like a Russell Iglesias or maybe a Trinan if he ends up being flipped by Oakland, if Billy Beane feels like that Oakland's not ready yet to compete. So there's a lot of pieces out there. I mean, that's what happens when you have 7 teams that are terrible.
What about Shane Green?
What was that?
I was mentioning Shane Green out of Detroit.
Oh yeah, former Yankee.
Yeah.
Yep. For the Yankees.
And then Familia as well, but I don't know. Like you were saying, they don't tend to do
that. Won't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Familia. I think you got a better chance of DeGrom coming here than Familia, honestly, at this point.
It's like asking. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. I just had a quick question about Gray. I forgot what you gave up for him. Off the top of my head. And
we gave up Mateo, Fowler, and Caprillion.
Okay, that's who it was.
Caprilion's probably never going to pitch in the majors because he can't stay on the mound.
No, I think Mateo was the big one in that, right?
Well, technically Mateo had the higher ceiling, but Fowler had more upside in terms of a better floor. But Fowler made the majors first, obviously, and I think he's going to be a very good player for them. But just like with every other player with Oakland, I mean, is he going to get traded this deadline or next deadline?
Yeah, it's just a matter of not when, not if it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But my point of even bringing it up was, would you do that trade again now, knowing not what the players are doing for Oakland, because obviously you could say whatever about that, with Sonny Gray's performance since coming here? So because since coming here in 2017, obviously he had 3.55 ERA, but only 162 innings. So he didn't reach that big plateau mark. And now this year, obviously, in 80 innings, he has almost a 5.
I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't want Gray from the get-go because I talked to numerous scouts that said that, he was just a ticking time bomb that he couldn't handle in New York. And, he's a little guy. I mean, I understand he's a competitor and he's a grinder, and I don't question that. But there's just certain guys that just can't handle it and get it in New York. And he's a guy that, the way the Yankees pitch, they rely more on breaking balls and fastballs. They were one of the top 3 teams last year, and they're probably going to end up being that this year, where they have their pitchers throw 66% breaking balls, and then the rest fastballs. Gray, when he was with Oakland, was throwing 72% fastballs. He's with New York, he's throwing in the 50s. So I think that says a lot. I think he's on the wrong team to be, in terms of pitching. That's why I said if Verlander came to New York, I don't know if he would be the same guy, because the Astros are just so far ahead of everybody.
Yeah,
there's certain teams that just, when they get that guy, he just clicks because they just get him. So to say that, okay, if Verlander went to the Yankees, oh yeah, they're going to win. For all we know, Verlander could have been a clunker and could have been terrible. So, but to answer your question, I mean, yes, would I like to have Fowler back? Yeah, 100%. But Mateo has an ego up the wazoo, and I don't even think he would crack, the infield that we have. That's why he was playing the outfield, because of how much depth that we had. And Caprillion, I loved Caprillion in college when he was at UCLA, but, he's just a guy that just has bad genetics, and he can't stay on the mound.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, when Sonny Gray there were talks about Sonny Gray coming to Boston for a little bit as well, and then we went out and got Sale. Obviously, Sale was the better, choice all around with Gray. But I agree. I think that Gray is just not a fit in New York. I think he could be better somewhere else. I think he's a small market player. I think he's the next Zach Greinke type of guy who is going to have once he gets – I don't think New York will keep him after his UFA year.
No.
But I think once he hits 30, he goes to a small market team with a good coach and a good system. They ends up being a really solid player, if not really good player. But, he's interesting. He definitely doesn't fit the Yankee mold. But, I do like Sonny Gray, and I hope he doesn't do well in the Yankees. But I hope he does well in general. But so what do you think, Chris? Do you think the Yankees win the series? Think they sweep? Do you think they get swept? What do you think?
I think they win 2 out of 3, but if they sweep, I wouldn't be surprised. But I would be shocked if they lost at least 2. That would shock me, just because of how well CeCe's pitching and the fact that Severino is money. Whatever we get out of Gray, was fantastic. But I think Friday is a winnable game. Sunday is almost a lock, if you want to call it a lock. I know baseball's not a guarantee by any means, but like I said before, and I'll keep saying it, Friday is the game that's going to set the tone for the series, at least for this 3-game series.
Yeah, 100%. I agree 100%. I think that if the Sox lose Game 1, they're in serious trouble getting swept. If they win Game 1, I think they take 2 out of 3, because I think that they beat up on Sonny Gray, and I think they get absolutely hosed by Severino.
Yeah. It's just all about timing and momentum. I mean, Erod was looking really good a couple weeks ago, and he has really good numbers at Yankee Stadium. I mean, I think he's got a sub-3 ERA there, but just hasn't been pitching very well lately. So, but the other thing you got to consider too here is one team could easily bomb the other as well. I mean,
yeah,
like I said, that's a lefty-friendly hitting park, and if and even with guys like Mookie that can rake, I mean, one game can just get out of hand, unsuspectingly, for one team or the other. But I would say 2 out of 3 for the Yankees as well. I like the Sale start. I like the way he's been pitching lately. Not crazy about Gray, and I'm surprised Gray has been healthy all this time as well, because he had issues with that and hasn't really. His issues have just been on the mound and with control and whatnot. So that kind of surprised me, but I think that's the winnable game. And CeCe he literally is the Red Sox father. I mean, he's old enough to be, and he owned us all last year. Pitched very well throughout the postseason, very well against Houston even. So I think he's going to be pretty solid. I will say this about Severino, though. The Red Sox have shelled him a couple of times, so. But Price gets shelled all the time as well, so who knows?
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath that we what's it called? Shell Severino again.
That could be a 10-8 game, maybe.
Yeah, God,
it doesn't make any sense.
It won't be. I know it doesn't. You're right, but I have 2 little things before we go, because I want to bring it up. We've been talking about how great Houston is and just how they get it. This is their whole entire franchise this year. This is their records. Single A, 42-36. A+, 43-34. Double A, 48-27. Triple A, 46-32. MLB, 55-28. They are just top to bottom an unbelievable organization.
Except the bullpen, but yes.
Except the bullpen, but yes.
Yeah.
And my second thing, Chris, you're a big college baseball guy, right?
Oh yeah, I was watching the game today.
Yeah, so I mean, unbelievable how Arkansas blew that, right?
Oh, they blew that last night. I couldn't believe. The minute that happened, I said, you know what? Watch, Oregon State's going to come back.
Yep. And my second thing is, with all in the MLB, with everything about Tommy John and pitch cap and everything like that, I noticed it this year. I think more than any other College World Series I watched. Why the hell are there multiple pitchers throwing 120, 110 and 130 pitches in a game. What is college baseball doing